It looks like we're live. Good evening, everybody, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Now, what we're going to be going over today are numbers. Let me pull up my layers. All right, there we go. Greetings, family. Today we're going to be going over numbers because I'm sure a lot of you have come across a situation where you need to add up a series of values. Maybe if you're adding 7/8 plus 3/4, or if you're adding together 18 plus 32, or if you're dividing 36 by 9. You all might come across situations where you find yourself counting on your fingers or going back and trying to find a piece of paper so you can write all these numbers down. And ultimately, it's just a really difficult experience just dealing with numbers and different equations and quick maths like this on the fly. And it's not your fault why you're not good at it. Uh, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do this math. And the only reason why you're not able to is because you were taught improperly and because we lack basic numeracy skills. And that's because it wasn't taught or focused on a lot when we were in school. Typically, when you're focusing on numeracy, that's only your first. Typically, when you're focusing on numeracy, that's only your first couple years in education. You'll find yourself so we typically only do numeracy in our first couple years of education in kindergarten and whatnot when we're learning how to count one, two, three, four, five, six, so on and so forth. But these numbers don't even give us those solid numeracy skills that we need because what in reality does this number mean, right? We all recognize it as a 1, but what is it really? Or let's say a 6. And these numbers have histories for what led us to write them this way, but we don't inherently know what these mean. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through our basic numeracy skills by breaking down numbers into what they really are. And for now, what they really are quantities in units. All right. Right now we're going to register those. We're going to mark. Right now we're going to mark those quantities using lines like this and tick markers. I'm sure a lot of you have used this in your early days as well when counting up to groups of 5. But we're going to be reviewing a litany of different systems moving forward through this African math, through this American math. Uh, so we're going to be using these numbers a lot when we're going through this American math series. So what we're going to start out with is we're going to start out with just one single unit that looks like the typical one. Awesome, we're all on the same page there, easy. And then moving forward, we're going to count up to the next tally mark, which is 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? When we get to 5, we're going to go down beneath it into the next row. So then we're going to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, once you get a group of 10 like this, they're all going to group together into a single dot over here to the right. All right. So we're gonna review that again. make sure that you count along, where you're going to have like this. Start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. When they all group together for 10, we're going to group all of them into one single unit. All right. So that makes addition and subtraction much easier because akin to using your fingers when counting, and how you would count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. Instead, we're going to be using the tally marks, and they're going to allow us to do some much more advanced math later on into the future. I'm sure you're thinking, this is super simple, this is super easy, everybody knows how to count, but these fundamental numeracy skills are very important in understanding how to group count quantities into other units. Because, and let's break down a quantity real quick so we can have a better explanation for that. If we have 27 like this, right? I'm sure everyone's broken down not shapes. Everyone's broken down numbers into the tens columns and to the ones columns before, right? But if we already know that we break down our numbers into tens and ones, let's just use that moving forward whenever we do any equation or whenever we're using any numbers, all right? So for example, if we have 27, we're going to let's start over here at the right. We're going to count up from our units, thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then our tens, how many tens do we have? We have 2, so we're going to write out 1, 2, tens. And that's our answer. So say, for example, we want to take these tens, or this 27, and then we want to add 13 to it. All right. Now, what we typically do is we would go down 7 plus 3 is 10, so you bring the 0, carry the 1, and then 1 plus 2 plus 1 equals 4, so our answer is 40. That's one way of doing it, certainly. But it's not telling us what's going on here with the quantities, you know? And we're just running a series of algorithms. There's no inherent understanding. So what we're going to do over here for the American Math with the tally sticks is that we're going to start over here on the right. Again, we have the 7 right here. We're going to add another 3 units to it. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, just dropping that quantity down here. And then over here to the left, we're going to bring that 1 down and just add 1 more unit. All right. So now that we've done that, now that we've done that, you can see automatically that this is our answer. We have 3 tens, 1, 2, 3 tens, and then we have 10 units. We can just count it out and see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. And then we can group this 10 together into one unit here, or into one tens group. So we can take 10 units and then group them together into one tens group, and then that gives us our answer of 4 tens, of 40. So again, it's like we'll try to do these calculations in our head with writing it out how we would on paper, but if you were to throw a 6 and a 9 on the end of this, and then if you were to go and throw on a 1/2 and a 3/4 at the end of this, we start to get lost, right? Those quantities are just a little too large for us to write out with these abstract numerals, but if we can start to associate them with something that is more natural to us, like how a lot of us used our fingers, but if we were to use something like a stick or a rock or a marble or pebble or something, then we can start to associate these quantities with things that make a lot more sense to us. So we're going to be focusing on that more as we dive into the inch throughout the rest of the series and breaking it down into its different halves. And having a solid foundation in numeracy is extremely important. Understanding how quantities are grouped together and broken down into different parts so that we can use that information for whatever we need it for is extremely important, and that's going to be the focus of this series. So that's all we got for now. I'm gonna go grab some dinner, and I hope you all have a good evening. I will talk to you soon. Peace.